Okay, so let's continue to cut. And cut is a command that you use to extract sections from each line of input. And the syntax is cut minus B for bytes and a list, and minus C is characters, minus F is fields, and minus N together with minus B, it will make it not split multi-byte characters or something. But we're not going to use that command. But minus D delimiter is what should be used to delimit, and it's tab as a default. And then minus S bypasses lines which has no field delimiter. And then, of course, the file itself. And I'm again going to use this same directory that we have played with for a while. And it will see if you, let's look at a file. Let's say cat new file here. So if it sees this here, and you just ask it to cut for minus bn, so that would be bytes. So and it will not split multi-byte characters here. So let's do that. Let's say cut minus b n, and then, for instance, a new file dot text, and you now saw I accidentally put an extra n here instead of a b for unknown reasons like that. Cut minus b, and there was also an extra space. And I'm being an idiot because, of course, I should tell it how many. Let's say 2. Then you get, as you see here, the second. Here, each one. And if you instead said 1, you would get the first. So it cuts it down like this. And if you instead had set the characters, what would happen then? Then in this case, it's the same because it's simply a text string. So there's no difference. So what if you would like not just to have one column down, but if you wanted several? For instance, this is mainly useful if you, for instance, have a data file with several columns of data in. Then you could tell it that you grab maybe column 2 or column 2 and 3 or something, but we can also do this in a text file. And you do that by simply saying that you want a range. Say I want 1 to 5. So there you get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because the space is also counted. Let's see, can try 2 to 7. And again, you get parts of this file here. And if I cut with the same thing, but with the C, let's see if there's a difference. In this case, there's not. And the reason, again, it's just a text file. And it looks the same. So if we use the minus F and delimiter flags, if we want a different delimiter, I'm just showing here what the content is of this file 8. This file 8 is just a longer file to play with. So let's say we want a delimiter to be space and look at the fields 2 and 4. Let's try to do that. And we took a space. So we have the space. And first I'm going to do it for the same file as before. And now, as you can see, it actually sees the space as the delimiter. And because of that, let's see, I will just cut this file again to show you. See, now it sees each word as one column, simply because now space is a delimiter. Previously, tab was the default one, and it didn't see any delimiters, so it just took each letter. But now space is, so you can see 2 to 4 is those here. And of course, we can do the same for any other file. This file 8 is a longer one, slightly longer. What did I write wrong? Did I empty this file somehow? There is nothing in it. No, that's right. I transferred it to my file later. Sorry. This file 8 actually doesn't have content now because that was a previous version when I was playing around with things. So just continue using new file.txt that has the content instead. So let's use that instead. When you push arrow up, you cycle through the commands. If you push arrow down, you cycle back through them again. I would now like to use a different delimiter. I would like to use a colon as delimiter instead of a space. And let's see what happens then, because I don't think there is anything in it exactly. There are no colons in it, and since there are no colons, there are no delimiters. So I actually have a file with colons in it, but right now I'm simply going to create one. And I'm going to say colon file dot text. And then I will copy new file to colon file and then open colon file. And then I will put some colons there. Just in various places. So let's try and see what happens when I am looking at that file. And then it uses colon as delimiter, and there are no colons, so now it can take 2 to 4 of those, as you can see. But still, as long anything else, it doesn't see as its own field. Spaces are not fields by default. Tabs are. But here we use the colon. So you simply pick the delimiter you like. If we go back and take space, then it now looks like this because there's a colon in it. Let's say you want anything from, say, line 3 and to the end. Then you simply don't put an end to the range. and it then grabs everything from field 3 and all the way to the end of the line. So if you have fixed length lines, C option is useful. But most Unix files doesn't have fixed length line. So it's much better to cut by fields instead of columns. A list of fields number specified must be separated by comma. Ranges are not described with -F option, so these are just some info. And cut uses tab as a default delimiter, and that's very important to know. And if you want to use other delimiters, you use the -D. And a common one you might want to use is space. So that is by adding this here. Then you will have space instead. And that's good because I have, for instance, let's look at file that, which is content here. Then you can, let's see, data that has columns, but they are separated by space. So if you wanted to delimiter that, then you have that we. If you want only fields 2 and 3, then you want a delimiter of space. And that we could do here. So I will now work on that file. So now I cut for the fields 2 and 3. And I use the delimiter space. And then the file that. And that means it grabs those two columns in the middle here. This one and this one. So now it's time for an exercise. There should be about 5 minutes left. And the exercises, again, it's the same directory. And the file data.dat is good to play with if you want something that has specific columns. Otherwise, file dat and new file text is good for playing with. You can also create a file with colons in, and then you can use that delimiter if you want to. And try the options -C and -B and see that you will probably get the same output for any of the files you try. And then one more, output the first 4 characters of each line for a file you pick.